So we're doing. I know. I said I was gonna.
Hello.
That felt a little rehearsed.
Was it?
It wasn't though. What's crazy? It's not rehearsed at all.
I thought he was gonna press the music.
Why? I'm here. You've been with me this whole time. When did I have the chance to rehearse it?
Mentally.
What?
It's like you mentally rehearsed.
No, because she was pointing play the music button, but because she missed our conversation
and
earlier.
I had already started it.
She had missed our conversation earlier about talking before the music.
Oh, I was out of the room.
And so she was trying to get me to play the music, and that was a real argument where I was like, "No, we gotta."
Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I really thought that was just a joke.
No, because she didn't realize that we talked about it. Hey guys, what's up? We just move on.
It's time to start.
Time.
It's a podcast.
She missed a conversation we had. We said we were going to talk before the music. The podcast started, and she began to panic because I hadn't pressed the music yet because we were going to talk. But then, like, pressure surmounted.
And then I thought that they were doing a bit.
So, like, Madison,
so
the grand conspiracist, thought we had plotted this moment.
Detective Madison strikes again.
I feel like you're being really mean to me tonight.
Not that mean
you
to
are
you.
especially like busting.
Does anybody else feel
tonight.
that way? I feel like we just haven't seen each other.
I feel like
in a while
Madison's
and hung
balls
out,
have been
like,
bustable
Yeah,
tonight.
I agree with that.
I feel like it's like been intense, more so than usual.
What? You
I
really
don't feel
think
like
that?
it is.
I don't know. I just feel like you're just like really on form tonight.
Do you feel
like,
attacked?
Do you feel like it's a good or a bad thing? I
No,
guess
it's
is the
good.
question.
It's like a good tennis match. You
Yeah,
know?
I think that the
okay.
time has come for us to bring the energy back.
A lot of
it's
the
time
time-
to
Yeah.
pump it up.
A lot of the times, like listening to Madison and Logan talk is like they're like both trying to win the conversation.
Yeah.
And like it's
Absolutely.
like a dance. Like
my
everyday
God.
dialogue with them is just a dance.
Absolutely.
It's the meeting of intellectual minds.
It's ridiculous.
That's so pretentious. I hate that. But
But
it's true.
They can be
But
so
it is
pretentious.
true though. I mean,
Put two of them together and
like
here they are.
sorry that like you guys can't keep up with our conversations.
Stop. You're making me look so bad right now. I am not affiliated with you.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
like I'm just very
They're the
stream
ones
of
who said
consciousness.
it.
No, I'm very like stream of consciousness. Like I genuinely don't think before I talk most of the time.
Same,
but like I
actually.
can tell that like
We're
you guys are
thoughtful,
having
and that's our
conversations
problem.
Right.
before you have the conversation.
They're mad because they just catch L's in
Right.
conversations.
I just be
I'm
catching
like
those
on
L's.
your
I
side.
do
I'm
too.
like telling him to be quiet, but you're making me switch
because everything you're saying
not right.
is like you're basically being like, no one should be thoughtful when they speak.
I mean,
no.
I
No
don't
one
even.
should speak with intention and meaning.
It is a detriment
I mean-
though, because when something catches me unawares, like when it's a conversation scenario I have it prepped for, I just lose it.
and not only that, but like the few times where like we've had a conversation when one of us like loses said bout, you can feel the damage.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's a lot of damage, like Phil Swift and shit, that's a lot of damage. Like the Tenet thing, when she came around, she's like, you know what? I guess you're right. You could just hear like.
Like neither of you guys are the bitches to admit you lost a conversation.
Lord.
So
Right.
Definitely not.
You guys will fight sometimes to the
Well,
bitter
it's
end.
hard because we usually don't.
Yeah.
I know. Ridiculous.
When you're not used to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like both me and Bridget are kind of the people who just be like, yeah, you're right. Just
We
to
don't
like
quite
stop
have our
talking about it.
We don't quite
we're
have
just
our sea
both
legs
like
and
the- yeah,
catching
you're right.
L's, so we don't know. We haven't done it in a while.
I just hit Logan with the yeah, you're
And
right.
look, like this is what you do, and this is also what he does, because I was on your team. Like I was fully on your team for a while,
know.
and now I've switched over.
I know he's ridiculous.
I've left the alliance.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of the podcasts start like everyone versus me, but then slowly as things go along, I always get somebody. It's usually Bridget.
It's usually
This is why I
me.
say-
Bridget will go for anything.
if you're a bad person, you can lead a cult, and yes,
Hey.
that's true.
No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say Bridget will go for anything unless it comes from me. For whatever reason. No, shut up. It's not like that. I'm just saying that
Sick burn.
like Bridget knows my ways, so they don't work on her.
Yeah.
Because it's she lives with it every day. That she's become like she's good at it now.
I know what you mean.
It's like because it's like if you
sometimes it's best to not engage.
it's like if you spent all your life like street fighting and then all of a sudden you one day had to go and do karate, like you would still be a good fighter. You just wouldn't have learned that person's particular style.
Yeah.
So Bridget with me, she's street fighting all day, but then she talks to Logan and it's like doing karate.
I definitely feel that.
So like my tricks don't work on her because she's gotten really good at it.
Yeah, but his tricks and sometimes your bullshit works on
this
me.
conversation makes
that's a lot of damage.
This conversation makes me sound like the biggest dickhead douchebag in the world.
Hey guys, so we're Crosscut Cinema and review movies
And we're
and full
big
spoiler review.
douchebag dickheads.
We're big douchebag dickheads. The biggest you've seen.
The very biggest.
Not even Frani could swallow it.
Oh my god.
We don't need to get into that on air. If you know, you know.
We are fucking on one tonight.
We really are.
This is insane because we haven't done this in so long. That's
Been
right.
a while. It's been a while.
Been a
It's
while.
been a minute.
Stained is in the room officially. Stained in the room with Stained. Okay, so anyway, we're a podcast that reviews movies and full spoiler reviews. My name's Logan. There's other people here. Go ahead and announce yourselves.
My name is
Madison and Bridget. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh god. Bridget, I think now. I don't know. He's fucking scared it out of me.
Anyways,
No. I was joking. Oh my god.
that's a lot of damage.
I
That's
wasn't
a lot of
even referencing
damage.
that. I wasn't even referencing that.
Oh my
Negative
god.
one.
The question is, at this point, do we just start over?
No,
There's
this is
so much
keep it in.
happening now. We're so far in without. Okay, timestamps will be. I'm gonna listen to this
Okay,
beforehand. We're gonna need timestamps for this.
It's become a different thing. Is everything good? Like, are we?
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't think
good.
about how it
It's-
sounded.
Anyways.
dude, you could not blame me
Let's
for
just
laughing.
drop it and continue.
No, I
I'm
was dying.
Frani.
I was laughing my fucking
Okay,
ass off.
okay, good.
I'm
Okay.
Frani. I feel like I don't pronounce my name right.
Bridget, you win already, dude. Yeah, sure you win.
I didn't say anything.
Yes,
said-
you did.
you said your
I'm
name.
Bridget, I think.
When? No, but anyway, I didn't say my name right now. I don't know why you're all jumping down my throat.
I don't know.
Yes, you did. This
What
is
did I
how the
say?
fucking conversation started, Bridget.
Oh,
You said your
Lord.
name, and then I think, and then we lost our shit.
No, I know, but like just now, I didn't say anything, and
But
somebody.
you were getting ready to.
No, I was just leaning over,
It
so
just
I was
looked
ready.
like you
Dude,
were.
100%. You were like, vote Dukakis. Like you were like leaning,
I
and it
just
felt
wanted
like you were definitely gonna say something.
I wanted to be in the right spot for talking.
Minecraft is really crazy.
Anyways.
right now.
You're not in the right spot, by the way.
I know, I'm
you need
trying.
to slightly move the microphone closer to you. Just like move the physical bar. Just like spool the bar
That's
closer.
better.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh shit.
But yeah, that was.
Guys, they have their headphones on today. That might be it. That might be why.
Maybe that's
It's
why it's
different
throwing
with
us
them off
off.
for sure.
The synergy
really
is more
is,
on
yeah.
point with them on. As I've been saying that for like a year. I think it's true.
I think it's true too. I feel like really like I've woken up from a very long nap of doing these like, and like in a room in which I can only barely hear because I have such bad hearing. So you know,
And that's why we blasted Donda in her ears before we started. Anyway,
oh, it's
Right.
amazing.
it was pretty good. I mean,
Topical.
Donda as a whole, you know what? We're not going to I'm not reviewing Donda. Okay.
I just meant the Roadcaster
I would
music.
love to do fucking like an album review. That would be so fun.
I'm doing that with Landon, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
you should
thought-
jump on one, remember?
oh yeah.
Track review. Also, Landon, shout out to Track Review. We'll get it out eventually.
I was about to say Madison.
Yeah, we're doing next. I think we're doing Red Hot Chili Peppers and Nickelback, but you guys won't hear that for a while.
I fucking love Nickelback.
Oh lord.
I don't know if we're gonna have the same opinion. That's fine.
You went to a concert with me.
I did. I saw Nickelback live.
It was great.
There was a lot more like drunk, ready to get fucked by Chad Kruger women than I
mean,
imagined.
oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
Same.
They were.
Wow.
Stop. Chad Kruger or Kroger? How do you pronounce it? That guy, Soul
He
Patch
can
guy.
get it.
I've been standing in line, whatever the fuck the other lyrics are. That dude's a fucking cartoon.
Look at this photograph.
When they played that, you know who was
Whenever-
crying?
Franny.
Yeah. Whenever
She
I
also-
DoorDash, because I'll do that occasionally, but like because my GPS, I don't like to like listen to music on my phone when I do it, so I listen to my CDs, and the one I always keep in my CD player is Nickelback.
Oh god.
So I just
Damn.
listen to the Nickelback CD over and over again for the duration of me doing that.
God.
Holy shit.
Shout out to our patrons, Louie and Little Man, by the way.
Oh my
hell
god!
And shout out to my brother while recording this. This is
Yeah,
his birthday.
happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
yeah.
brother.
Happy
I love you.
birthday.
Love you,
Hey.
brother. That's great.
Anyway.
Happy birthday!
I thought we were gonna like call him.
Well, I mean, we could, but I'm worried of like the time frame.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
probably
already
going to
pretty-
call him later.
Oh,
We
okay.
already have talked so much about not these movies.
Yeah, I wish I knew
Right.
where my phone was at this point.
It's on the ground right next to you.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem. That's fine.
Do you need me to get it for you?
No, it's okay.
It's like it's so within my
I'll just
sight.
remember.
Do you really want? I can get your notes if you need them.
I mean, if you could, but I'm afraid that this is going to derail
She's
us
wearing
even further.
a special operation shirt. She is equipped.
I feel like I'm doing
that's gonna
like
make sense
a
to like
heist
all
right
of
now.
3 people.
Yeah, just the people who hate listen to us.
I do you think that that's a
I
thing?
know for a fact that Mustard Shirt's heard it.
Mustard shirt.
I know that he's heard it.
How do you know that?
I know that because of what's her face's cute. I don't want to say her name. The lady we're friends with.
Yeah, no, I know her.
She told me that he had heard it and said he liked it,
Is that right?
which is crazy because
It's crazy because we do talk about it from time
I
to time.
think he's a
just 'cause
fucking cartoon, and
I agree.
He is what brought us together.
That's true.
In a way, so
that's true. And he was openly jealous. Like openly jealous. Like he was like, "Oh, you guys are doing a podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's for cool people only."
Remember when I fired your guys' old co-host and decided I was going to be on the podcast?
And then as a result, Bridget
both
also
of you?
joined the podcast.
Yeah.
and here we all
I
are
said
today.
I helped pay for this equipment. He's not doing anything. I'm on the podcast now and he's not.
We'll always
When
wonder.
I had no interest in podcasting.
If I get his
prior.
permission, maybe we'll try to post the searching one we did that was like horrible audio and completely out of control
Yeah.
for
we
like
could do
bonus
that.
content of some kind. Like you guys could hear the origins where Madison basically reads the entire plot to you while questioning everything that she's saying constantly.
we could
We could put it on Patreon.
that's what I was gonna say. That could be like a Patreon bonus little.
Oh, speaking
one
of
for the
patrons and
patrons.
Patreon, also,
Louie and Little Man.
we already said that, but yes,
I know,
Louie
but
and
I'm
Little
just
Man,
saying it
Little
again.
Man and Louie.
I feel like they should have gotten more attention, and so thus we're giving them.
There's one little man, and then there's a cat. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. So involving the Patreon and stuff, there's going to be some changes that come to it, but yeah, get on Patreon. The perks are worth it. We're going to do fun stuff. You guys are going to get content early. And I know that there's like a core group of you that really love to listen to our stuff because you leave Madison hate comments all the time.
That is not. They're not all hate comments. Come on.
They're not all hate comments. I just think that those ones are the funniest. I can't help it.
Yeah, but where's my top sheet gang at?
True. There's also
There's the top sheet.
She does have the
no
top sheet
sheet
gang.
because
Yeah.
we don't fuck with that shit.
Don't fuck with the top sheet.
No top
I mean, if
sheet.
you're,
Oh my God, one
if you're
time
top
just
sheet
to-
gang though, like, give us some support.
to stir the
Love,
pot
I
one
guess.
time. So like Madison and Bridget, they stay over a lot, and in the studio, like we have a couch thing that converts to a bed, and I was doing that, like making the bed for them one time, and just to stir the pot a little bit, I put a top sheet on it. I don't know if they noticed.
I think if I got into bed first, I probably just took it off.
No, she probably just slept on top of it.
Yeah, that's true. Or I'll just like lay on top of it.
It was like a weirdly like kind of smaller than the bed top sheet, and I put it on. I was like, I wonder
That's
if they'll
funny.
notice I did that just for them.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Anyways.
Ridiculous.
Podcast.
That's amazing.
But yeah, shout out to the patrons and shout out to Logan's brother.
Yes.
100%. Which, I'll eventually speak with him on the internet at some point, and you guys will be able to hear his points of view, which are very different than mine. But that's what makes everything great. So, what else? Oh yeah, we review movies.
Yeah, I think we said that. Full spoiler
Maybe we
review.
should.
You
do
said that. Yeah.
Oh, I just meant we should start doing that.
Oh, sure. So what movies are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Black Widow, and which seems kind of late, and in a way we were thinking that before we did it. Like we were like, we saw it, we had full intentions of recording it right away, but life got crazy. And that's why you guys had like a bunch of not filler content, but the last couple of weeks have
like
been kind of weird
different
videos.
episodes.
Yeah. You guys haven't had like a stable video since the Kicking It Old School video.
Yeah.
So
That's insane.
And
to think about.
can we really call that a stable?
it was something else.
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't Michael Cera on it for no, that was 8 Mile. Wait, what was the one where Michael Cera was on the where
I can
he
look,
wasn't
I can find
he
out,
wasn't
probably.
even in the movie, and Frani put him in the thumbnail, and he wasn't even talked about in the movie.
I
and
thought
he
it was, but I got
hilarious.
confused with somebody.
Can't remember who now though. It's so fucking funny. It's awesome. I feel like it was like Kicking Old School. or
I'm
something.
working on it.
But not the point. But we're reviewing Black Widow because of the obvious thing with it is the big lawsuit that's going on with that. So we'll dig into the movie, give our honest opinions, and then we can go on the lawsuit and what we think about all that.
He was on the picture for In the Heights and War Dogs.
Okay, yeah. So why was he there?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
No reason at all, because Frani makes thumbnails and doesn't think about it whatsoever.
Like, I don't even know where he even came from. Why is
He
in
just
my
lives in my
house?
head.
Yeah. So yeah, Black Widow was a movie, and we saw it. We went to the theaters and saw it. We were really excited about it.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
and as some of you may know, this is kind of a landmark moment for us because this is our first Marvel review
Yes.
on this channel, as well as this was Madison's lesbian awakening.
Yeah, so when I was like 15, I guess, maybe 14, 15,
Back when she was a Drake girl.
No, that was after Drake Girl. That was when I was a Super Who Lock girl. So I was
Otherwise known as a lesbian.
correct. We're getting there. So I saw the first Avengers movie with that Tom Hiddleston character everybody on Tumblr was talking about. So I saw that movie, and just Scarlett Johansson, she awakened something in me. I don't know. It was never the same since. And I remember.
Do you remember the scene?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've told me the scene.
The like hallway scene is a really big moment, and just like her like first appearance, it's everything.
She loves like the Avengers moment. You told me this, where it's like they're like all interrogating her, and she's like having her moment all tied up.
Oh fuck yeah!
You were like, oh shit,
I love
that's
that.
my shit.
Yeah, I love her so much.
And after a long time and literally dying in the MCU, sorry, spoilers, she has her own movie now.
Yes. Oh, but the best part of the story is so I was like, okay, well, I saw Scarlett Johansson. I'm gay now. I like this girl, and I need to tell her.
She makes me feel funny.
Right. Like my little tummy tingle. She was a redhead. I've only like redheads are my true type, I think. But anyway, so I'm like, I need to get in with this girl. So I like start hanging out with her, and like I start spending the night at her house, and it's normal because we're girl friends. We're friends who are girls. Mm-hmm. And she had this like poster of Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow in her bedroom. She was gay too. I already knew she was gay, but I needed her to know so that we could be gay together. See? So she had this big like Scarlett Johansson poster in her bedroom, and I was like laying next to her on her fucking twin size bed, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm bi.
Wow.
And then we dated for like 5 years.
Dude, I'm telling you, those lesbians, they colonize.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's ridiculous. Oh my God, 5 fucking years.
Yeah, well, not consecutively, to be fair.
Still, though, it's a long time.
5 consecutive.
Just because she was an available lesbian.
I mean, really, yeah, she was like my friend who was a lesbian, and I was like, well, she actually wasn't a lesbian. She never was. But
wait, okay.
No, I mean, she never said she was, and she never was a lesbian. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she never claimed it. I, however, said I was something else, and then I later came to say that I was a lesbian. But we had different experiences.
Definitely. But that poster was on the wall nonetheless.
It sure was. Like facing the bed.
Cultural moment for the lesbians.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You guys would just lay in bed and stare at that poster.
There is no way that's going to work out. Just warning you. That box is
that's
eventually going to
what?
knock it over.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
This movie was extra spicy for you because Florence Pugh is a big
Yes,
lesbian
that's
for
crazy
you.
about it now is like I'm in love with Florence Pugh. I can't speak. I think she's got just a cute little face.
I agree.
Yeah.
She's got like a little button nose almost.
Yeah. Whenever you whenever you break up with that guy from what's it? Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
Zach Braff.
Zach Braff.
Ridiculous.
Whenever you dump Zach Braff, you can give me a
Which
call.
like should have already happened.
Yeah, it's
Right.
ridiculous. And then she like doubled down on it too. Like she like got really intense about the relationship with him.
Yeah.
Oh girl. Yeah,
And
I love
it's
her.
like he's such a douche, I've heard too anyway. Like if you've seen the episode of him on Punk'd, he was like not fucking cool about it. And it's like, dude, don't do this. Like,
Don't be
because
like
it means
that.
one of two things. Either you agreed to let them make you look like an asshole, or you actually acted like an asshole because somebody played a prank. Like, get over it, you big puss.
Yeah.
Fucking Zach Braff.
So this is a podcast about a movie called Black Widow.
Yeah.
It is.
And we're trying so hard to do
Karl Marx. Anyway,
Yeah, I have long joked about wanting Karl Marx knuckle tats.
and then he fucking had him too.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
I was like, literally, we were in the theater and I started like tapping Bridget. I was like, oh my God, he has Karl. And then she was like, what? I don't know what's happening. And I was like, look at his fucking knuckles, bitch.
He's got the knuckle tats.
Yeah,
this movie is everything you could ever want. This is like a movie marketed for Madison.
I didn't like it.
Except it's total shit.
It's
Yeah.
everything
Terrible.
I could ever want except being a good movie. It has all the things. It's like when I try to bake a cake. It's got all the things that, like, in theory, make a good cake, and then it goes in the oven, and just what comes out is shit.
And the thing is, we would have been so forgiving of this movie too, because we really wanted it. Like when you eat a bad cake, you still like sometimes can be okay, like a not too
we
bad
don't have
cake.
to keep doing the cake
But
thing.
like I feel this deep in my soul. But like I would have been so forgiving of this movie, even just being like moderately okay. But it kind of fucking sucked.
Yeah,
I can't say what I wanted to say. 'Cause it's not going to make any sense. In in another movie we watched, they played cake at the beginning, and I was just like, that was cool.
Oh my God.
And I was trying to tie it together. We'll get into that in 2 weeks. You'll hear about that. Yeah. All right. But yeah, no, it had all the earmarks of what a good movie is. The problem is it's soulless. I mean, it is a soulless movie. It is a course of events happening. Hello, are you all right?
Yeah, I just burped.
Okay. It's like, it plays a lot like if you've seen the Falcon Winter Soldier show. Mm-hmm. It's like it's all the things that you want it to be, but it's just lacking a soul. Like it doesn't have that like Taika Waititi thing or that like James Gunn thing, or even, you know, not to be a fan of Joss, but even the Joss thing. It has nothing. It's just soulless. There's nothing there of substance.
And I feel like, you know, it feels obviously like a money thing, because this is a character that, spoiler alert, is dead already. Like, so we know how her story ends. Yeah, and it's counting on us to be so invested in the beginning.
Give us this movie at the time where it's based. Release it then, because this was released before the events, or I think it's like right after the events of Civil War, right? Right between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So give us it then, because there is a long gap there. Like there was a legitimately long gap between those movies. We could have used a ScarJo movie at that time, but you know what it was? The studio didn't have faith.
Yeah, they didn't.
Wonder Woman comes out, it kicks ass, and then like, all right, where can we fit this even more popular character right now, given cinema culture, not pop culture, but in movies, people were way more psyched about ScarJo as Black Widow than Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, because she had been in so much already. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have faith, and then they put it out too late, and they didn't have anything to say. Like there's plot relevancy that is built into the movie, and we'll get into that, and those things will carry on in the MCU, but they're fucking pointless. Like they could have been anywhere. And it's not good for that reason.
I think the only thing it was really had going for it was like, boo, communism bad. You know, I mean, it felt that way. Like that, I think that's the only thing it really had to like.
Do you think it was really like anti-communist? Because I didn't even get that vibe even.
I thought it was anti-communist.
I felt kind of anti-communist.
Well, no, because it's against our government the whole time.
What do you mean?
Like it's anti-government through and through. Like the whole thing is anti-government. I don't think it's really about communism or not communism. The whole storyline is anti-government.
That's true.
From both governments.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And it has a little bit to say about like child abuse, I think.
But I think the things it has to say about that.
But nothing substantial.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I feel like almost the ending, if I can get into this, I guess. I feel like the ending ruined any chance that it would say anything good about child abuse.
You mean like how they were like all hunky dory?
Yeah, or there was all like, they were like, the message essentially was abuse, like, you know, forgive your abusers. And
well, I don't know if that's the intended message, but you could definitely derive that from it. Like,
right, but I mean, like,
yeah, it was just like did odd choice, but okay,
horrible things to these children. I see the intentions,
but the issue is that the storyline didn't fit those intentions. It's not like these parents were good parents, aside from the fact that they were fake. They were problematic the whole time. We're already in the plot. Okay. Like we're already here. Okay, I don't know what you mean by get into the plot. You want to like go through everything that happens?
Should we do like an overview?
Okay.
Should we read the wiki?
Somebody can read the wiki if they want.
Yeah, but I would like to say to your point before I lose it. And the other thing about it that was weird to me was they were only with them for like 2 years. out of their entire childhood.
But the issue is that this kid, as we saw from Age of Ultron, this kid was institutionalized at a level where she didn't get to act like she had parents. So both these kids, this was the best situation they had in their minds. Because the rest of the time they were institutionalized assassins.
Yeah.
So I understand why the younger sister had a misplaced worth in this family because all she experienced was darkness. And I think Scarlett Johansson's character was old enough at that point to realize it wasn't real.
Yeah.
But she's still attached to this younger person she was protecting. So I see why ScarJo's character had an attachment to Florence Pugh's character. And I see why Florence Pugh was like, we were all a happy family. Because it was such a specific point in her life before everything turned horrific.
Right.
So that whole thing makes sense to me, why they're trying to find meaning in it. The issue was that they did when it wasn't there, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, if you're ready with the wiki.
Yeah, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationship left in her wake before she became an Avenger. So yeah, just basically, she goes back to the past.
What?
She goes back to the past. She confronts her past in this movie.
Oh, I thought you meant she literally time travels, and I was like,
that's Endgame.
Yeah, that's
or
Endgame.
Samurai Jack.
No, she just. Yeah, it just all has to do with.
You like that one?
It's a good show.
I know, I love it.
My dad loves that show.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so the whole thing is basically she just got done with Civil War. She's like escaping essentially like the government. And then during this time, she gets involved with her sister, who's like still like an agent for people, and there's like some sort of magical gas that's turning people real angry. It's kind of like Zootopia in that way.
I love that movie. That's hilarious.
And
Good
Zootopia
point.
is much better.
Yeah.
So
it's actually fun.
one thing leads to another, and her undercover Russian agent parents, she's like trying to go save one of them, the father, because he knows the location of something she needs to find. Turns out he doesn't, and he's full of shit.
Right.
And basically what we're trying to do, it's trying to be National Lampoon's Vacation meets action movie, like in the sense that there's this goofy cast of family members that aren't even really family. And it's bad for that reason, amongst others.
Yeah.
Also, she hits her head so hard, she can't smell. Just remember that. She hit her head so hard that she can't smell.
Yeah.
In order to defeat a man who has woman repellent on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the plot, kids.
Oh,
And
it's not good.
I don't know, and it sucks because like all the stuff that was like really getting into her past and like the Red Room and how all that worked, like that stuff was really fascinating. But they needed this movie to do more than that. They needed it to be part of the larger MCU plot lines, and that's where it fails.
Show us her in the academy. That 5 seconds we
Right.
got in Age of Ultron, where she's like, basically Scarlet Witch gets hit with like hits Black Widow with like her magical
Right.
see evil shit power that also disappears later and then comes back. Not the point. But basically she makes people see visions, either the past or the future, that torment them. And she saw herself at the school, which is crazy because she could see any aspect of the future or possible future. And at the time, she was a fucking Avenger, so she could see horrifying things. But nothing was as horrifying as being put in this school when she was a kid, which is very telling of the time. Why not give us that in the movie? Why give us this weird just family platitude in the middle of this movie? Like, love all family plot. It's weird. Why do that? That's not the part I care about Black Widow at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's dumb.
I feel like this could have been like a really cool like spy movie with like the KGB elements and all that stuff, and it just like declined to do that. It declined to be like more interesting.
And they can do like an espionage like spy movie because Captain America: Winter Soldier was awesome.
Yeah,
that's one of the best movies that they made, and it was entirely a spy movie. It barely had any superpowers in it, you know?
Yeah, I wish they had done that instead.
It felt like any chance it had to be fun, it just didn't do.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the parts that tried to be fun weren't, like
they're just
fucking
weird.
What's his name? David Harbour's entire character was just annoying to me. I'm sorry.
The thing with the earpiece when they were in the prisons, like, was so dumb, and
it went on too long.
the comedy in it wasn't really sound.
There's kind of a level of like, oh, he's fat now. LOL.
Yeah.
He was in prison. So, I mean.
Yeah, it was dumb.
It's just like, I don't understand this.
And then like his whole like Captain America doesn't know me relevancy joke, like who gives a fuck? Like who gives a flying fuck about it? It's so bad. All the elements of this have like really bad things in it, where it's trying to like be pop culturally aware and stuff, but it's just so lost, and we care so little about the characters other than Black Widow. Yeah. Like the reason why the Avengers can make jokes like this is because you love seeing those characters interact because you've seen so much of them. With this, it's like, I've known this mother for 5 minutes. She was a psychopath who tried to turn them in, and now you want me to think she's hilarious?
Right. And I feel like we're supposed to like David Harbour's like character. We're supposed to be like, oh, he's funny, like he's just a goofball, like he didn't mean it. But like the movie, his actions are like horrible.
Yeah.
Like he just fucked up shit.
And like that's, I think, a big issue that I take with it. Like, it's just how they didn't treat this, like, her abuse as, like, real, almost. Like,
it was like a punchline.
It was like a punchline, yeah.
And, like, or, like...
I don't necessarily have an issue with them, like, being flippant with that view. The problem is there was so much of it in the script. If it was, like, a like when there's something traumatic in, like, a movie, and it's, like, a throwaway line, like, well, that's why that's like that... That's like a humor built into the trauma. Like people who have trauma tend to make humor about it.
Right.
The problem was this was the whole fucking story, and it was never really tackled with any seriousness. Mm-hmm. And she also never laughed at the joke. That's the other thing. She never carried on with the joke. She was always visibly affected by all of them and hated them all. Mm-hmm. And it never was resolved in any way other than, well, I guess you helped me this one time deal with a problem that you guys caused. Sweet, thanks.
Yeah, it's just felt very weird.
Gave up my smelling for this.
Right.
Which, like, begs the question, is her smell going to come back?
I think there's, like, a joke in one of the later Avengers movies, like Infinity War or Endgame, where she, like, can't smell that well or something. And they played into that.
Of course they did.
I'm not kidding. I think it was, like, retroactively added to this movie. I think. I'm
That's
pretty sure.
Fucking stupid.
Pretty sure. What's up?
That's just weird.
It's so dumb.
It's weird to me.
But it's like they baked it into the plot at this point, you know? I bet you anything that they always talked about a Black Widow movie, but it was not finished in writing when Infinity War came out. There's no
not.
way.
No.
Also, like, what was I going to say? Oh, fan theory that the whole reason she died was due to her inability to smell somehow. Like something happened, she couldn't smell it that she would have needed to, and that's why she died.
Meanwhile, she jumped off of like a mystical cliff as a self-sacrifice.
Correct.
Maybe, I think maybe the only thing that this movie really gives credence to, like the only thing this movie that's legitimate is something they probably didn't consider, is the fact that she was so willing to die for Hawkeye because he had a family. But at the same time, this was never, like, the family in this isn't convincing enough to me to think that she'd have that sentiment, as well as that totally was never their intention.
Right.
But that's one thing you can take away from it. Like, that's a cool idea. The fact that, like, this event happened with her family right before she decided, okay, I'll make the sacrifice for Hawkeye because he has a family.
Yeah.
Could be possible.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
But that's not their fucking plan, and let's not pretend it was.
Right.
That's me revising the script real quick, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figuring out where I can squeeze it in.
Yeah.
And, like, alongside the family thing, like, it was weird how much emphasis this film and, I guess, is it Age of Ultron? On her fertility. Is that an Age of Ultron? Which Avengers movie did she get with the Hulk?
It might have been Age of Ultron, yeah.
So, and that's, like, one of the things she says as to why...
Well, here's why I think that they did that. Not that I agree with it. But Age of Ultron is one of the only movies where she had character growth.
Yeah.
Because of the relationship with Hulk, as well as the flashback scene where you see that she's been in it since she was a kid. Mm-hmm. The rest of the Black Widow stuff she's always like the strong female example character. Like, she's like the second in command to Captain America. She very much acts like a second in command to a lot of things. And that's kind of her character.
Yeah.
Which sucks because there totally is more they could use, especially from the comics.
Absolutely.
But, it is what it is. But I think that's why. because in that was one of the things they touched on in that movie, and they're like, well, we know that about her, so we'll put that in this, and we'll make it her sister also is the same way.
Yeah, it's just like a weird emphasis on it. Like, I don't know.
I guess when you got nothing to go on,
weird to me.
It feels like they had nothing to do. They had nothing to go on.
And like of all the things that happened to them there, like that's the most important to a woman. You know what I mean? Like that's the essence of womanhood taken from her. And it just feels weird. I don't like it.
Some people kind of have that view, and I think it's kind of like icky to put that view in a movie like that, maybe when it's not being taken seriously at all and being made again the punchline of a joke.
Yeah, I just didn't like it.
It also felt like Scarlett Johansson did not want to be in this movie.
She seemed over it.
Like she's such a good actress, and in this movie she just wasn't bringing it.
She really wasn't.
A little true.
The fact that she didn't like it, I mean, that's a little true.
No, the fact that she like didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
During the whole recording.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
I mean, as evidenced by later happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest, I feel like this movie is just so nothing. I don't know what else there is to say about it other than like some of the action was competent. Some of it looked good. Some of it looked really bad.
But like the plot line kind of sucked though.
The plot line sucked. The dialogue really sucked. And
I wanted it to be so fucking good too. We went and saw it in a theater and we are like, this is going to be epic. Like this is going to be so fucking fun.
Yeah, and then fucking Florence Pugh's character, like it's weird. Like she always has to have a little quip, and a lot of times it's like, who the fuck are you saying that to?
She's like, do you like my vest? It's like, who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck about your vest. That's literally a thing. There's like 3 different scenes where it talks about her vest she bought. Like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, and like, or like the scene where she thinks she's like about to die.
It just like
she like has a funny little quip.
She has a quip to like no one. She's like, well, ain't this something? Like that's
it's just like they
literally. Yeah,
I'm just like, who are you talking to, bitch? You talking to me?
They're just trying to
like
talking
to me,
force the audience to like her. Like they're like, we're gonna make you like her and make her likable with giving her no character.
Like her character is like she's witty.
Yeah.
But like it's also like stupid because you absolutely would not say that at the moment of your death. You wouldn't be like, oh shucks. You know?
It's just so, like action hero-y.
Well, dang old dang.
I'll be goddamned.
Yeah, that fuck me bad. Sideways.
What'd you say?
I said, well, fuck me sideways.
I like that one.
And then the last thing at the end of the movie, right? I just want to talk about like the ending, what it means to the MCU, so people can know that without having to watch it. At the end, obviously, this is after the events of Endgame. At this point, they flash forward to that, and there's like a lady who's like assigning out fucking hits on people essentially, and she assigns Florence Pugh's character a hit out on Hawkeye and tells her like, he's the reason your sister's dead, which is technically true, but also fucking not though. And the idea is that the Hawkeye show is coming, so she's going to be in the Hawkeye show, presumably hunting Hawkeye, and I just don't care. Like, I don't care.
I think something we said too was like, I wish they had done, or maybe I said this, I wish they had done this, instead of this movie, they had done like a limited series.
I agree.
And it was just like, instead of what it was, it could just be her finding different widows all around the world and saving them. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sorry, I just pictured like any widow.
Just like anyone who's lost
helping any widow. It's just like, yeah, you got hit by a car. It's like, all right, I'm here to help you. My name is Black Widow. I'm here to unite you. Like the one, like
it's shot. Like my name is Earl.
My dumb husband didn't get the fucking vaccine. Well, I'm here to help you.
Oh my god, it is shot like My Name is Earl. This one is no cinematography in this fucking movie.
Oh, I didn't mean the movie. I meant the show
I meant
idea.
This fucking movie. Like even like the fun like action scenes didn't even look good. Like this movie wasn't even that fun to look at, honestly, compared to Marvel movies normally.
So many ass shots.
It was just missing
so many ass shots, baby.
I mean, that was the only fun part.
I was gonna say I did like that.
Yeah, that was the only good part of the movie.
It's just so funny because this movie is like trying really hard to be like a feminist moment, a girl boss win, you know?
And it's not. It fucking
but it's
misses
just rife with ass shots nonetheless. And that's like, and they like, that's something that Scarlett Johansson like is like, I wanted this to be different about this movie. I don't know, or like
Yeah,
that.
I
Like,
didn't feel
you
like
know?
it needed to like sexualize Scarlett Johansson in the way it did. It didn't add anything
Slow
to the
down.
plot.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Right. I mean,
I don't know if I would have wanted to watch this if they didn't sexualize her a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's
Are
like,
you good if they just like never show you Thor again? Like, you never,
No, I'm all right with
exactly.
yeah. I mean, like,
You're right.
yeah, it's just like so blatant. Like, just
Yeah.
like ass shot, ass shot, ass shot.
I mean, guys, that is like so what all these movies are, though. I mean, if you watch any of her scenes in any of these other movies, you will see that ass all over the film.
Absolutely, but like this movie is like it's like portraying itself as being like about women and like for women and women winning. You know?
Yeah, it's not good.
It just feels tonally off.
Yeah, it's just not correct.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything they want to say about it? You guys want to rate it?
Well, do we want to talk about the
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I think we can talk about that after we rate it because it's
Okay.
really not related in my opinion.
Sure,
but it
okay.
is. So let's rate it first and then we'll
yeah.
get into the legal stuff.
I want to give it a 5 because like it gets enough points to be like mediocre since it's Marvel and since it's Black Widow, a character that should be interesting. But yeah, it just misses it. It had I wanted this movie to be so good.
Yeah, I would give this like a 3 out of 10, I think. I just think it just didn't have that much to do. And I feel like when you're building this cinematic universe, your movies need to have a point to them and like a soul to them still. And so it just didn't have that thing.
I would say probably a 2.5 out of 10. I really hated it.
She did hate it. You were on the car ride home was intense. How much? You
Yeah,
hated
she was
it.
pissed.
She was like,
Yeah.
"Why the fuck do I have to watch all these fucking Marvel movies?" And we're like, "You don't, Bridget. You don't. You don't have to watch all of them. I promise." You're just like, I have to watch all of them to understand even one. I'm like, no, that's not true, Brit. It's okay, Bridget. You don't have to do shit. No one's making you do anything.
Good
So
Lord.
like that
so
too.
fucking angry.
I was furious.
I'm shocked you gave it a 2.5.
This movie pissed her right the fuck
She
off.
was so angry.
The time has like healed some of the wounds that this movie has given me.
So much has happened. You know, so much time has gone by.
I think Bridget just felt personally victimized by this film.
Yeah.
I hated it.
So for me, I would give it a 3 out of 10. If you want to watch a girl boss Marvel thing, you should just watch WandaVision. It's actually good. It's on Disney Plus.
Fuck yeah. Ooh,
You do have to watch Infinity War and Endgame to understand.
Oh damn.
Oh, you know what?
But you'll still be
You know what?
okay.
You could watch Jessica Jones.
I did watch some of that.
Jessica Jones is great.
Yeah, that's a girl boss move.
Or, I would say Captain Marvel, but I just don't feel that way. But it's not as bad as everybody says. It's not as bad as this. Captain Marvel is much better than this movie, like by miles. I actually kind of enjoy watching that movie. This one, I don't plan on ever revisiting, like literally
No.
ever.
Yeah.
I thought about, because it's been a long time since we've seen this. Obviously, we saw it in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about like rewatching it because it took us so long to record this episode. And I was like, I could, but
Like, fuck that.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
do
It
that.
says so
No.
much that we've forgotten so much about it, and we still don't want to watch it.
Right.
That's how unimportant this is. Like, it's just nothing.
And it just was like, I feel like it was bad representation.
Yeah, the overarching like family thing that happened was fucked
was
up
like-
and not okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like it was like a forgive all family.
Yeah.
Family is great.
It felt like a weird like propaganda.
Yeah.
right.
It was just
I just didn't.
fucked up, especially for like we were saying what it like acted like it was.
Right.
In the words
Yeah.
of Jason Segel, family is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have to earn it.
Well,
That's true.
Scarlett Johansson's trying to get some money she might have earned, might have not.
She would have
We'll get
earned
into
at least a
that.
little bit more. So this is what happened.
That was a good segue.
Yeah, nice job. So
it
anyway,
was.
as you guys know, COVID's totally been a thing. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to hear that it's affected the movies a little bit. And what Disney Plus did to kind of counteract that is they started making some of their stuff available as premiere access on Disney Plus. Meaning you could be at home, you could rent one of the movies in the theater for $30 for 48 hours to watch. And it sounds like a lot, but when you have like a giant group of kids, it might work out, or maybe you just are that afraid to go out and possibly get COVID. Now, here's the problem. Scarlett Johansson had a producing cut on this and a development deal on this, and a lot of these stars do. They'll get paid a small amount, someone like, Robert Downey Jr. or whoever, in this case Scarlett Johansson, the money they make is really based off of the movie's box office because of the producer credit, and that's why they invest so much time. You know, they keep their bodies in exactly where they're at. I mean, if you think about the workout regimens for Scarlett Johansson, they're fucking insane in order for her to look that good in that suit.
Yeah, or like a Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
not to mention the fact she is 100% in her acting prime. She was nominated for 2 Academy Awards in the same year.
yeah.
She's definitely somebody whose time is very valuable, and she's once, you know, I understand that people don't want to hear like, oh, she didn't make $20 million. We should feel bad for her. The thing is, in Hollywood, it's not about what you deserve. It's what you negotiate. And she negotiated more money, and she should have gotten more money. But this is what happened. Disney Plus put it on their Premier Access, and they didn't offer her any additional money, to which she said doing that fucked up the box office because it's the lowest performing Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah, and I
so
mean...
that's tough. So she filed the lawsuit, and then Disney actually returned in the scummiest way possible by being like, oh, we did this because of COVID, and you were already paid $20 million, like basically outing how much she had made. And most recently with this lawsuit, like Disney's trying to handle it out of court, and Scarlett Johansson's lawyers don't want to because they feel what they did with the you earned this money, blah, 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 was like a fucked up sexist notion. Yeah. And so they want to possibly dispute it in court. And the thing that's interesting about that is if their settlement, if they make less in their court case than the settlement was worth, did you know that the financial costs go to those who won the settlement?
Oh,
Meaning,
really?
So, like, let's say I'm suing Madison, right, for being gangster as fuck. And and she wants to offer me a settlement of like $300 to not do this. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm doing it. And then we pay a bunch of court costs and I only make $150. Not only did I not make that much money, but her court fees fall onto me because she offered a larger sum in private conversations, as long as it's documented by a paralegal or their law, or like, you know, their law team. Based on however much I made, if it's less than the settlement, I need to pay out those court fees.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's a way to kind of convince people to not go to court so much. That's why it's built in. Yeah. So, in other words, if they offered Scarlett Johansson the $30 million that she was owed, which is what they should do, but she's so direct on the fuck you, this is not a sentiment I want to set up to where you can fuck over people and do all you want, and like only the most successful people can fight
move.
It is.
Mm-hmm. So she might even literally lose money, like quite literally lose money on this. And I find that interesting.
Yeah.
And what's even crazy, the same goes with obviously if she loses, but it's even crazier if she wins and it's less than they offered, she still has to pay, which is nuts. I think I don't want to be like poor Scarlett Johansson, but this is like an important moment for entertainers, I think.
Yeah.
And because the fact is that streaming is the future.
And this is like a pivotal moment in the survival of our movie theaters.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like if we want movie theaters to survive, like these things really matter.
Mm-hmm. Like what, like should the theatrical window really be eliminated, or should it stay intact where things are only in theaters and then they come out available to the public, or should it be like things are available right away? If you make them available right away, it's the death of the cinema.
Right.
That's the truth of it. As convenient as it is, and as awesome as it is to just like sit at home. I got HBO Max, bitch. I watched Suicide Squad day one in my living room with my dog, and it was great. Or it was actually in our bedroom, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. And I get the benefit of that, but that movie did horrible box office wise, and there won't be a sequel, even though it's a great movie.
Right.
And the fact is, like, this is the time where you have to go to the theater, because otherwise we're going to miss out on not only the cinematic experience and like going to the movies, getting a popcorn, getting a drink, all that stuff. We're also going to miss out on big budget movies. We're going to miss out on spectacle. And I think that this is such a great time to be transported and to view something that is like so expensive and so wild looking and so real looking that it's like a ride. Like new blockbusters are like Scorsese said, like not movies.
I was about to say like a theme
but they
park.
but they're like a theme park. Like Jurassic World, if you saw that in the real D cinema like I did with like the surround sound, the Dolby shit. It was incredible. It was like an awesome experience.
Yeah.
And you won't get movies like that anymore. And you definitely won't get experiences like that anymore. So it's important to see Scarlett Johansson's side on this and like put the pressure on Disney as well.
I agree.
Because they should have never released it the same fucking weekend on a different platform, in my opinion.
And like, and just in any case, I think we should push back on what Disney does. Just
like
just on
anything to kick
principle.
it to those fucks, honestly.
Yeah, because like they like have a monopoly on our media right now. So
And a monopoly on IP. I mean, they have characters like Mickey Mouse who in the past would have been in the public domain at this point, but they keep moving, they keep paying and pushing this thing like, oh, Walt Disney's dead and like all of his grandchildren are dead or whatever. It doesn't matter. We still own Mickey Mouse. That's not the way art works. The reason why things go in the public domain is because that's how we've always done things. People shouldn't profit off of a character like a Mickey Mouse forever when they had nothing to do with its inception. So I'm very much against that, but I guarantee you in 200 years, you still won't be able to make your own animation with Mickey Mouse without paying the big mouse.
The big mouse.
And it's making it impossible because there's only so many IPs out there. And as people get along, there's going to be so many variations on the same idea because they can't make the same thing.
Right.
They, in their own twisted way because of IP. I can't make a version of Mickey Mouse that's a serial killer for a funny short because he's owned by Disney.
Right.
And the same thing is going to go with all these characters that they're buying up. And they just have too much power and too much influence over media.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true. They shouldn't be able to own everything as they
own
do.
Star Wars and Marvel, the two biggest franchises of all time. Not to mention the fact that they own all the animated classics and have the IPs for things like Cinderella and Snow White, things they never wrote themselves. They own the IPs for now.
That's crazy because that's from the it's like a folktale.
Yeah, like you can
shouldn't be able to own a folktale.
You can re-engineer things. You can make your own Cinderella, but she can't have driven in a pumpkin. She can't have glass slippers, and she can't have a fairy godmother because all these things were Disney editions.
And like that's just so fucked up to me because it's like it's a part of our culture at this point. It's
Everyone
so
who worked
old.
on that movie is
it's
fucking
the
dead
people's
now.
movie
It
by
belongs
now.
to people.
Yeah.
And like Sherlock Holmes, in the last second, MGM was fighting to own that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they didn't. Sherlock Holmes is for anybody to make now.
Yes.
Anybody can make any Sherlock Holmes shorts. Anybody can do it with The Wizard of Oz, which is also in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do the specific ruby slippers, all that shit, because that's owned under copyright. And it fucking should not be. It's old as shit.
Right.
Give up the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Like, people are afraid to make Wizard of Oz shows and stuff because the IP is so closely tied to the Universal or Warner or whatever version that there already is.
Yeah.
Lionsgate, sorry. And they can't do that interpretation. And you just don't own it anymore. It's not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
if it's
why
been-
like all this content is just getting fucking tiring at this point. Like, let somebody new make something.
Yeah, the thing is the best stuff is is like fresh eyes, fresh ideas.
Yeah.
But the problem is like, you know, like the Green Knight just dealt with this.
Mm-hmm.
So the Green Knight came out and it technically is a part of the King Arthur storyline. Like, but they have to make it so obscure and pay no homage to it that people who see it have no idea.
Right.
Because they're afraid of the copyright already on King Arthur things. And it's like, how the fuck do you own the rights to King Arthur?
Yeah,
how are you able to
ridiculous.
own specifics? Just because you depicted it first in a film doesn't mean that it's not from the source material. You don't fucking own it.
Yeah.
Disney,
Right.
you don't own Cinderella. You don't own the Seven Dwarfs. Like, this is not yours.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It really is.
So, yeah.
Kind of disgusting.
We are on Team ScarJo over here.
Yeah, like, listen, and also I'm very pissed because she was going to be in this Tower of Terror movie she was producing.
Right.
And they canceled
They
it
pulled
out
the
of
plug on it.
spite.
And I think that's fucked up.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
And honestly, I think it's kind of misogynist, to be honest. Like, just the way that it's being portrayed in the media.
Well,
and like, she's a bitch.
I'll tell you why it's literally misogynist. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in this movie called Jungle Cruise.
Oh, God.
He got a cut
Bad
of the
movie.
premiere money. But Scarlett
That's
Johansson did
fucked
not.
up.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now, I understand that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the #1 movie star in the world. He gets paid more than anybody else, but she's literally top 5. You know,
Yeah,
it's like her, Robert Downey Jr., Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like that gaggle of people are all within the same striking distance. They all will make more money than you can ever perceive.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, at the same time, I'm like, I don't care so much about the money. It's the sentiment that she wasn't paid what she negotiated.
Yeah,
It just sucks.
It's not about what she deserves. She deserves like $100,000. But what I'm telling you is, it's not what you it's not what you deserve. It's what you negotiate. And she negotiated this amount of money with this much bring back under these circumstances, and they weren't met. That's the legality of the case, and that's all there is to it. They're in the wrong, she's in the right. That's all there is.
Yeah, and it sets a precedent for what films are going to look like in the future and what releases are going to look like in the future. And that's going to shape the content. So,
and look, would they have done this to Robert
important.
Downey Jr.? No.
Like,
Like, absolutely
didn't
not.
do it to Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, too, is they can argue, like, oh, the reason why we felt we could do this, and I have heard this, is that we have a working relationship with her. We're helping her produce this movie.
That's just like she's being a bitch. That's what they're trying to say with that. Like the way they're,
exactly.
it's fucked up.
And I really feel like, trust me, I don't care if she makes 20 million or 30 million. I don't care about the amount of money she has. That's immoral on her, and she's fucked up for even expecting that much money. But at the same time, there's just a clear case of, like, it's what she was promised. You have to deliver.
Yeah.
Right.
And her arguing that it would have made like 50 million for her, like, obviously that's not true. This movie was not like Avengers big, even if it wasn't released on Disney Plus. Like, it wasn't going to have as big a turnout
But
as
like,
she's
she
claiming
should be
in
able to
court.
make him pay at this fucking point.
But she can say that because they didn't give it the chance. She
Right.
can make that argument that those are damages because the empirical evidence is this is how much her Marvel movies have made in the past. You didn't give this one an honest chance. That's what she's going to expect.
Right.
Because they didn't play out their part of the deal. If they had let it go out and she had made very little amount of money, she'd have no legal grounds to stand on because that's what the deal was. But them taking that away means that they're liable for the fact that she didn't make the most money she could. And they didn't even offer her a secondary deal. And this girl went out and did all the press shit. She did Hot Ones. She did everything.
Right. She did all of it.
She did all the interviews, never said a fucking word about it. So that's
Girl
professionalism
boss.
right there.
Yeah, she wanted
sure.
this movie to be as successful as it could be, and they didn't give it the chance to do that.
And
I
you know,
agree.
she knew like at some point she had heard they're putting on Disney Plus, and she still did this press stuff. She still waited for the release of the movie. She gave it enough time for it to make the money it was going to make, and then she didn't even say anything defamatory. She just filed the lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah.
Professional as hell.
That's what it
she
is.
She handled it so
well. They could have all
Right.
did this privately, but obviously lawsuits are a matter of public record, and if you actually file a legitimate lawsuit, like actually file it, anybody can see that it exists.
She wanted to give them a chance to show their cards, like show how they actually fucking treat her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very smart in like making the first move and waiting until after everything was said and done.
Because you know, if she would have made it behind closed doors, or maybe she did, who knows? Maybe she did. It obviously wouldn't have worked out for her.
Right.
Because they're fucking Disney.
Right.
And this is all a part of, Bob Iger left Disney, and now they have a new guy over at Disney, CEO and whatnot. And they should have got Kevin Feige to do it, because the guy who's running Disney right now is making mistakes like crazy. He's consistently dropping the fucking ball. And the worst part is that this was at a time where, like, just a year or two ago, like, everything Disney did was like 100% out of the park.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
They were letting creative voices
Yeah.
make things. Like, Taika Waititi is going to make this movie, and we're going to give him this much of the percentage of the deal with the film. We're going to treat him kind of like he's a main actor in this. Chris Hemsworth, we're going to give this dude $10 million because he's going to dedicate all this time to making sure this is a good movie and be a part of its production and a part of its publicity. Like, you're taking time out of the most prime actors in the world right now, the most buyable blockbuster actors, putting them in a single franchise.
Right.
They should be paid the amount that they're asking. Like, that's just how deals
Yeah,
go. Or you don't have the right to them in the first place.
If that's what they negotiated for, that's what they should get. 'Cause
Absolutely.
It's not like, I get the moral thing, like you said, but it's not about
It's not
wrong or
because
is
no
it
matter
right.
what, someone
It's about
has this
the
immoral
law.
amount of money. Either way you spin it, someone has an immoral amount of money. So let's not even compute that into the argument.
Yeah, it's not a moral thing. It's purely it's a legal thing. And it's a legal thing that sets the precedent for something I care about morally.
And like, here's the thing too, is like actors get more money over time. Think about the amount of time she's invested. Like, for instance, when Tom Holland got Spider-Man, I promise you, this dude was probably getting paid the cheapest they could give him because he was brand new. They could change it up on him. He wasn't like so invested in it, and this was going to build his career. Same thing goes with Scarlett Johansson. She was really popular. She had what's that one with Bill Murray? Something Lost in Translation. Oh yeah, she had like a couple of movies before then, but she was like a teenager when she kind of hit big, and then there was like this middling point when she joined the MCU. I guarantee you when she was on Avengers and Iron Man 2, she probably got paid next to nothing.
Right.
But she's invested over a decade into this fucking franchise.
That's insane that it's been that fucking long.
Yeah.
Really,
and then also just to bring it back around, and then this was the movie in which it culminated.
Yeah. This was supposed to be
this
her
was her
last
big
thing.
solo movie.
Yeah. And it's like, we're really going to handle it this way. It's not even that they put it out on Disney Plus, which I disagree with. It's also that they didn't make her a specific deal.
And the legacy that they're leaving behind with her too, like trying to make her out to be like fucked up.
It's
about
tough,
it.
man. That letter was so nasty and gross.
Yeah.
If anybody else is on the other side of this thing, you're just like boot kissing Disney at this point.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's not necessary.
Any last thoughts on Black Widow?
I didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
I'm excited to see what this all means for cinema going forward. It's a pivotal time in entertainment all around.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna pause, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about New Moon.
Hey, looking for more content? Check out Crosscut Cinema, where me, Frani, and my friends review movies. Or check out a pilot podcast. We review TV pilots with recording artist CL Blue. Or hey, check out me hanging out with my friends on Average Joe Interviews. Socials and links are in the bio. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, it's CL. I have an EP out now called Temple. It's a collection of songs I wrote when I was 18, and it's available on all streaming platforms, wherever you get your music.
So baby, look into my eyes. My body's a temple.
And we're back.
There's a possibility.
Oh, that shit
We are
slaps.
reviewing Twilight.
New
God.
Moon.
Twilight, New Moon.
The Twilight New Moon soundtrack was a banger.
It really.
Slaps.
I listened
It
to
was
it on
universally
occasion.
loved by the emos and the Drake girls.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
By both
shared
of
that.
them.
We have
'cause
that in common.
They also put Muse in a bunch of the soundtracks.
Right.
Like
Right,
Sheer
yeah.
Massive Black Hole in the original. Neutron Star Collision, I think, was like the third movie or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the soundtracks were like, but like, it's basically like when you're watching MTV and they play like current songs, like the music does not always match in Twilight. Sometimes it's just literal
It's
random,
great.
like emo pop music.
I don't know. I love it.
Like Decode, the scene that Decode's in, like by Paramore, has nothing. It's just nothing. There's nothing there. Or when they're running, when they're chasing what's her face in the woods, you know, and that's that
I
shit.
think it's just more about the mood, you know?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like it's not that thought out. Like the purpose of the music playing doesn't really match the situation. It's like mood music.
I feel like this.
That's- I
But
think
I
you're-
like that about
I
it.
feel like this
that's
one-
what I'm saying. I think you're right. But what I'm saying is like by that means they just put whatever song they want in the soundtrack, and that's cool. I love that.
This
Yeah.
one is
Yeah.
the best soundtrack.
But
I agree.
Absolutely.
But it's
Yeah.
not like that's really gives credence to the movie, in my opinion. But
I had the New Moon soundtrack on CD and I listened to it all the time.
nice.
It would still.
It was
If
good.
I had that, I would play it.
I mean,
to
we
the-
listened
Yeah,
to it in the
same.
car the other day.
Yeah, that's great.
We did. I used to. I didn't have it on like CD or anything, but I just would Google it or
Yeah,
YouTube
like
it
YouTube playlist.
Yeah, and then I would sit in my desk chair during Possibility, obviously, and spin in a circle.
Being a sad.
Possibility.
This is actually also my favorite.
Everything in me wants to play. That's a lot of damage. But I
That's a
didn't.
lot of damage.
This movie is a fun one. It's definitely one of the most fun of the series.
That's amazing
Yeah.
because it is no fun at all.
Really?
There's like a 2-minute sequence where it's just her being depressed, and then the night terrors.
Yeah,
that
true.
shit's depressing.
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
movie looks like it was fucking shot in grayscale because the clouds never part.
Yeah.
It's
And
my favorite.
It's her depression movie. It's her
So,
sad girl winter
I
or
think
whatever.
that a lot of so you might have heard our review of Twilight, and in the Twilight review, I kept talking about how I liked this movie better. Now, I don't think that's necessarily true anymore, but as far as like direction, I feel like her weird bogness like through the movie is entirely intentional, whereas like Twilight,
for sure.
Twilight looked fucking nuts for like no reason.
Yeah, it really
like
did.
parts of Twilight look nuts. Like they look like a Disney Channel original movie at moments.
yeah.
Like the baseball scene feels very like Disney Channel
It
original
really
movie.
does.
does.
And it's just a little goofy, and this feels more purposeful, and it's not like over the top. And I think the season changing
And
scene,
like the pizza
as
throw.
bad as it is in idea, like as bad as it is in concept, I think it was shot very well.
I agree.
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm just arguing the point that it's like a fun movie
The
to
pizza
watch.
throw that ends up being a wrench once it gets to his hand. Cinematography.
That was fucking horrible.
That was fucking brilliant.
Dude. That was, bro. If that wasn't like Phantom of the Megaplex level direction, like that was Disney
Ridiculous.
Channel
This was the
original
movie that-
moment.
This was the movie that had sparked Team Jacob.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
15-year-old teen Jacob. Where just 2 years earlier he was Shark Boy and Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh god.
Now we get to look at his nipples.
Yes.
Hot.
Yeah, I mean, I embraced.
I liked his nipples. She was gonna say.
I mean,
She loves
no,
those nipples.
I was gonna say I was Team Jacob.
You were? I was
I
Team
was Team
Edward.
Jacob.
Oh, I was Team
Edward always
all
seemed
the way.
super like to me. Edward seemed like blatantly abusive.
I mean, yeah.
Whereas Jacob
but
was just
so is he.
immature and younger than her and didn't understand how real relationships work because he's big angry boy.
Yes,
But that doesn't make him okay. I'm just
No.
saying he wasn't emotionally mature enough. But let me tell you something. Bella was not emotionally mature enough for 100-year-old man.
correct. And also,
Absolutely not.
Also, shouldn't that be illegal?
I think it is. It might even be illegal to be that old.
Oh my god.
Like at a certain point, like I'm not saying assisted suicide's like a good thing, but like if you have a 110-year-old person, aren't you like at least considering like what if we just gave him this little chemical and he didn't have to live anymore? Because 110 is fucking old.
Right.
Yeah.
And isn't he
that's
like
crazy.
120 or something?
I think he's.
I mean, he was in the Spanish Inquisition, or not
Is it
Inquisition.
Inquisition?
Shut up. The Spanish influenza, right?
He was in the
That's what
Spanish
died of?
hacienda.
Shut up.
He ordered muchos burritos.
I think he's like 109.
Yeah,
Creepy.
I think something like that.
Creepy.
He's like
Yeah, I've
108,
also been
109.
I read all the books like forever ago, but I've been reading Midnight Sun.
I've been rereading Twilight. It's ridiculous.
That sounds great, but Midnight Sun is just it's a great read. Like 5 chapters are just about how he wants to eat her.
I love it.
Which I mean-
Definitely
So
go give it a read.
for those who are forgetting exactly which one New Moon is, this is the one where because Jasper is kinkily into her blood or whatever, and there's a big
Kinkily?
upset.
Jasper?
Isn't his name Jasper or something?
Edward?
No, Jasper's the one who
Oh.
like.
Yeah, they
no,
attacked her.
the thing about Jasper is that he's a new vampire.
Yeah,
and so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not,
But what I'm saying is like the blood moment happens. Edward realizes, okay, not everybody in my
Yeah.
family can handle being around her, and that could end really badly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move, and I'm gonna dump her hard.
Yes.
I'm gonna dump her so fucking hard, and then after we'll see how that goes. Considering
most
I'm her
emotionally-
age plus 90,
Like
so
the most
clearly I
emo-
emotionally understand things better. And then he is literally just as emotionally fucked up as she is.
Yeah,
I know.
he
When
dumps
he hears
her
she
in such
died,
a
he's like, I
shitty
guess
way.
I'm gonna kill myself. What a crazy fuck. What a crazy fuck.
Also, I think this movie is why whenever I was sad as a teenager, I would go into the woods.
Yeah, same actually.
I have to say this. I have to say though, like there is sort of a romance about it though.
Stop.
About-
toxic.
Romeo
toxic.
and Juliet
toxic
of it all.
romance. I love a good like toxic romance in film.
That's not good.
No, it's a dynamic I like to see in movies. I don't like support them. I don't think this.
I
should
think
be
the issue
you.
is a lot of toxic romances are good in film when they're up against odds that are unreasonable. Like when they're in circumstance where there's like a war-torn thing or something's happening to them that's really fucked up. With this, he's just being an asshole.
I
Yeah.
don't know. The whole vampirism is like something that's keeping them apart.
I mean,
I don't know.
Is it though? Because I mean, they've done pretty well so far, and like Jasper, yeah, but like
I don't know. My point being that I
Dude,
like
the relationship he has with her and the
It's
things,
manipulative
and the
as
things that then conspire once he leaves.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing.
I want to
with
get
you.
into my segment because it plays into how fucked up their relationship is.
Just say your
But
segment.
what I'll say can I conclude?
Yes, conclude.
So I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. I think he's manipulative. I think that they're horrible together. I think that he's a piece of shit.
And that it's a child bride and she's a child.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's all very fucked up. But I still enjoy seeing the dynamic played out because I find it an interesting one. You know what I mean? I
It's
don't
also
like.
barely in this movie.
Yeah, well, I don't like. I don't condone
That's why I like
it.
this one the most. Edward's barely in this movie.
yeah, their dynamic is the problematic end of it though, because like especially with rereading the books, I saw somebody post this theory and I was like, that's it. Like Bella's autistic. Like
Why the delivery? That was delivered impossibly. Oh my god!
I didn't
that's
even
the sound
mean
bite
Guys,
to-
right
that's
there.
it. Hands down, hands to Jesus. Bella's autistic.
but like he's kind of taking advantage of her though, and that's
No
why he
cap.
finds her
This
so
is the episode that
interesting.
gets us canceled.
It's like why he can't like read her thoughts because like her thoughts are different than others, and like especially like the way he describes
That's
her
interesting.
in a book, like the way Stephanie Meyer describes her is like very asymmetric brain like and like her whole thing is she feels out of step with people. She always feels like
okay.
socially behind everybody. Her like he can't read her thoughts because her brain waves are different than everybody else's.
that's really cool. Like I like that reading. Like
Right?
not as like. Yeah, I like it.
the
It's like, that's
delivery
just
was
a part of
tough.
her.
The takeoff was tough, but I see what you're saying, and it makes a lot of
And
sense.
Yeah.
like, yeah, now that we're in the air,
Yeah. And
I like it.
like
You're welcome.
she's like clearly different than everybody, and like it's interesting to hear her described in the book too. Like he's like she's always like the clumsy thing is like really overplayed, but it's not as like blatant as it is in the movie. It's more like cognitively clumsy.
You know, that explains
Yeah.
our other point, though, about the powers and stuff.
Oh yeah, like when
Yeah.
she
So here's the deal. You go ahead and tell this. 'cause
yeah,
this was your big moment.
This was
here.
another thing too. Like when she gets powers, her thing is like she can.
No, not that.
shield?
Not that. How people like. Okay, so I'll just explain a little bit of it. You
Yeah,
can elaborate. on
sorry.
it. So after the whole thing where Edward's like, I'm gonna kill myself, where, and then like he doesn't because total puss. And well, I mean he can't because they're not gonna kill him over that.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go to the Volturi and they're all like, our powers don't work on her, but like some people's powers do.
Yeah, the fucking
And the
see
reason
future
why
one.
is any mind powers don't work on her because she's autistic.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because it doesn't
That's
match her
actually a
brainwaves.
really cool like theory. I think.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it makes no sense. Because remember the what's her face was like pain, and then like stared her down, and she was like, "Nah, bitch." It's because it's like I'm autistic.
They never-
like that's why it didn't work.
They
Right.
never give you a reason either for like why
Right.
she's like
Because
this.
what's her face can still see futures that depict her in them. So
Yeah.
powers do work on her, just nothing to do with her mind.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like. Isn't it a thing that she can't like necessarily see? Like
No,
He
she
can't
can see
see her
anything
when she's with
Bella.
Jacob,
She
but-
can't see anything with Jacob because they cannot
okay,
perceive
right.
magical creatures or whatever.
But like she's
Gotcha.
clearly not a magical creature. That's not her reason for
And
like
she's
the
able
brain
to see
difference.
futures entailing Bella.
Yeah. That's a really cool theory. I
Right.
wonder. I don't think necessarily that Stephanie Meyer intended it to be that way.
If you read
I don't
it,
think
Well-
she's that good.
I think.
You said, what do you?
Well,
based
since
it on
you are
herself.
reading it, yeah, she
Oh my
based Bella on
God.
I'm
herself.
just saying, people don't have awarenesses of themselves.
Yeah.
and that's
But she
actually really
based an
interesting.
entire character on herself.
And that's actually very interesting too, because Twilight, like, she doesn't come off that way. Like you said, it's intense the way that he describes her as being like clumsy and out of step, and like because
Yeah.
it's from Bella's point of view in Twilight, she doesn't see it as like.
yeah, she just thinks that she's
As-
too cool for everybody.
If you read
Right.
Midnight
but
Sun,
in reality, she's far too autistic for everyone.
She
Yeah.
doesn't see the
and like the way he describes like her
Yeah.
like because a lot of how he describes her in Midnight Sun is because he can't read her thoughts. He's watching her through the eyes of others for most of the
Right.
book.
That's actually really cool. I want to read Midnight
So
Sun
he's
now.
seeing
Wow.
how out of step she is to everybody, and how
I
like
don't-
he doesn't like all these like guys are like super into her because she's so different. And
But I don't think that the whole powers thing was on purpose. I think that was literally a writing flaw from Stephanie
Yeah.
Meyer, but it explains it really well, I think. And that's
Yeah.
what me and Franny were talking about before, but she
Yeah.
forgot what I was talking about. So
But no, it just really got me thinking. And yeah, I think I'd like that to be the case because I feel like that's like decent representation because she doesn't like describe her any
it
bad
makes
and like
Edward even worse.
but it makes Edward
Why-
worse in a way
Yeah.
because it makes it he's like kind of taking advantage of this person.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think just because she's autistic means that she's like naive.
There's
or
like a
incapable
cognitive
of-
like there's like a cognitive difference in like the way he describes her to how he is, and it's just like a weird power dynamic.
Well, I just think of it retroactively. If he likes her because he can't hear his thoughts, he's fetishizing her autism.
He is,
But,
yeah.
well, I guess there's that.
Ew.
So
he
that's
does-
really the problem for me.
In the book too, he is just like fetishizing like everything that's like off about her. It's kind
Yeah.
of fucking weird, but they don't show that too much in the movies for real.
And
I mean, I wonder why.
Yeah,
so this is like Jacob's movie, right?
yeah. This is
Yeah.
Jacob's movie.
And I really like the everything going on with the character at first, because at first he's kind of like boyish and he likes her and his
Yeah.
friends make fun and like all that stuff, even though it's a little weird because she is older and everything, and like
I mean, she's not that much older. She's like 2 years older, right?
They really emphasize how,
but they
old
emphasize
she
it all
is,
the time. Like
too.
that's a part of like the kink of it. It's like
Right,
he literally
yeah.
calls her an old woman, and it's weird, and it just gives me child bride husband vibes. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like
Stephanie
I mean,
Meyer's good for that.
It's the Mormonism popping off.
that's
right?
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it is.
And not to mention the fact that she named Jacob and based Jacob off of her own brother, Stephanie
Which is
Meyer.
like,
which I told, yeah.
And the
Fucking
weird
weird.
brother dynamic was
Yeah.
weird. There's a lot of weirdness, but my point being is everything until he like changed into an asshole, I thought he was okay. But that scene where he's at the movies and he's
Yeah.
just mean to that guy because he's
You
like
want me to put
changing-
you in the hospital?
That is the most fucking unintimidating. I would beat the shit out of that muscular boy, because if he
Right.
was, you want me to put you in a hospital, I'd be like, are you gonna say that to me again, child? This is some 15-year-old fucking weirdo. Like, I'm gonna beat his ass. He should have got his ass beat for basically threatening
Yeah, but Mike's
violence
a
on some
pussy.
random person. This dude literally went, I'm feeling sick, I'm gonna go home, and he's like, I'm gonna put you in the hospital, and he's like, I might have to go to the hospital.
Last thing I'll say about Midnight Sun for now. So a lot of how Edward watches Bella too at first is through Mike's eyes.
Oh God.
And it's like really fucking like cucky of him.
yeah. Oh my god.
Dude, this whole
Oh my god.
There's so much cuckold shit in
There
all
is
of these
so
movies.
much.
Yeah.
The next movie we want to talk about next
the
time.
cuckiest.
That's the most I mean, like literally, put it on Pornhub. Put it on
Correct.
Pornhub. It's cuck porn.
Like she could have asked for a threesome right then. Had it
Yep.
icy and hot.
Oh my god.
Don't like
Anyway.
that.
I can't.
Wait, so remind me, does Edward hear Jacob's thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah, but they sound like dog noises. He said. He said you sound like a dog.
I don't know if it's
no,
literal.
he talks
He
about-
makes a passive comment saying that his thoughts are animal like. That's literally
Animal
in the
like
movie.
in nature, but not in sound.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
I don't
like,
think he specified that much. He said he has animal like thoughts. I'm just saying he's
He
hearing
meant it like hot girl, hot like that.
boof boof.
I haven't like read the series in a while. Although I would be interested in like rereading it. I tried a while ago and then I just couldn't get back into it for whatever reason, or maybe I just stopped reading because I do that sometimes.
Oh, go ahead.
But like I just couldn't remember if he could hear Jacob's thoughts,
He
which
can.
makes
it's
it even
cucky.
I was gonna say makes it even cuckier when like Jacob has to come and like keep Bella warm in the tent. Like Stephanie Meyer's a
That's a
freak,
different
dude.
movie
That's
though.
a different
so
movie.
don't get ahead of
so
yourself.
don't get too into
That's a
it.
different
But
movie.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's cucky.
But it's Stephanie Meyers. That's her fetish, I think.
She's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
very
No,
weird
she's
about it.
very
She's on the front page of Pornhub. Let's just put it like,
like
that.
dude, for real though.
Right.
And then I saw a picture of her and I was like, oh my god, that looks like an old busted ass Bella. Like it looks the
no,
same.
really, yeah.
They really. So I'm thinking like, how close is the rest of her idea base? Like,
Oh,
how
you already
close is
know.
it to the?
Edward
Probably
is
a
like
lot.
no, Carlisle's based off of that like leader of the Mormons that like Joseph fucking.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the whole thing is like.
Yeah, me and my
Fucking Mormon
friend
all
who's
over the
actually
place.
like
Right.
she listens to the podcast. She's an ex-Mormon, and she was telling me about how her family actually really likes Twilight because it's representative of that.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
So yeah, and one day we'll get to Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I can say all my things about how that's so wrong, but we won't get into that. Yeah, there's tons to talk about in that regard, but I feel like this movie actually has less of that because there's such an absence of Edward throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, he just comes in, manipulates her, and treats her like shit, and leaves.
I thought like the
And then says, I'm
thought,
going
like-
to kill myself.
I thought like the Vatican or wherever they were, like that like foreign city looked really cool. I thought that
Yeah.
all those shots were dope. They were definitely trailer shots. I had definitely seen them without seeing the movie first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the whole movie though, but my point is like this was really competently directed for what it was. I think all the shots and the scenes like actually matched the emotion of everything. Like with this, he's coming out and he's going to be a spectacle to all these people. So it's like this bright, like kind of almost action movie feel to that whole scene. And I thought that was really great. What wasn't really great was all of her hallucinations of him. I thought that was like cheap and weird writing, and also like very much like this girl needs therapy.
The thing is,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same in the book.
Yeah, she does literally see him.
No, I know, but like that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I forgot
I don't
how
care if it's a plot
problematic it
point.
is.
I don't care if it's a plot point in the book, the movie, their fan fiction, whatever. It's really bad and really stupid.
I
like
kinda also-
really stupid.
It's kind of damaging. Like, it
I agree.
Like, it definitely, like, for an impressionable, sad young girl like myself, like,
And me.
Yeah, like, it definitely is like act on your impulses.
Right,
Like, it's
like,
kind of fucked up in a
reckless.
Put
way. Yeah,
yourself
be
in-
reckless.
In harmful situations, so maybe somebody you love can save you.
Yeah, it's
And,
like,
like-
yikes. Or like kill yourself if like the fucking person you
You
like,
love.
he definitely has I'm gonna kill myself if you don't fucking date me vibes.
Right.
Yes. And like, honest to God, I took that shit to heart as a child.
Yeah.
Like, I was 12, I think, 11 or 12 when I read Twilight for the first time. And boy, did that take my already fucked up relationships with other people and make it even more fucked up. Thanks, Stephanie
it
Meyer.
glamorizes night terrors, which I've literally suffered from and are not
Yeah.
glamorous.
Poor
Correct.
Charlie. He's just
Right.
he's in too deep.
And like, and
Well, I mean,
Charlie,
yeah, it's his kid. There's nothing he can do
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
I know, and he just has no idea what to do.
And then, like, also, he's kind of bad because at the first sign of him being like, you need to move, this is too bad, she's like, actually, I'm going shopping. He should have been like, I don't care. You've been crying for 6 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He's like,
Like him-
okay, guess it's all good now.
All right. Okay. Sounds good.
There is this
Also,
moment in
like-
the movie. Anna Kendrick has this line that I absolutely love. I think it's hilarious. I wrote it in my notes. That's how much I loved it. Like, it's when they go shopping and she's talking to Bella and she's like, I'm so glad you're coming out with us again. And then she goes, I get it. Like, your depression, but you're bumming me out. Like, I get it. I'm really concerned, but come on. And like, that's me talking to myself. That's my internal monologue.
I love Anna Kendrick's character in this
I love it.
one.
It's
What
so
character?
funny.
She's
I know, but it's just funny. She's good.
Yeah.
None of these kids are written well.
no.
Also,
like
It really is.
this was the one where we were
I love
introduced to all the shirtless jean short boys.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That happened.
I also
It
wrote in
did.
my notes that New Moon walked so the TikTok alpha community could run.
Oh my god,
my
that's so fucking funny, actually.
Like it's just all the posturing. It's really funny.
Yeah. And then like the Sam stuff with his girlfriend that like he
Yeah.
punched like
That's so
so like
That's ridiculous.
problematic.
it's kind of problematic too because it's
It's a
kind of
lot
like he got too
problematic.
angry and
Big.
hurt her, but it's okay.
it's okay
It's
because
super
now,
fucked up.
Yeah,
and
it's
like, she should not be with him. If he did that to her, if he fucking scarred her that badly, which he did, he should not be with her.
But like the way they write it, they make it seem okay, but like
Yeah.
the analogy of it to real life implications is what's really fucked
So
up.
my
Right.
question
Right.
comes in with this.
The lesson of it.
They talk about how there's like one couple. You guys gotta explain this to me because I don't understand it.
yeah,
There's one couple, like the wolves, the doggies. There's one couple of doggies that like each other, but then one of the
Oh, the
doggies
imprinting.
imprints on another doggie and they go with the other doggie.
yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, what has happened?
It's like a soul tie bond. They
But-
describe
but-
it way
Yeah.
better in the
but
books.
dude, they literally throw that in
Does
there,
that happen
and then
in this
yes,
movie?
Yeah.
they throw
Yeah.
it in there and they never explain it. And I literally sat there the whole movie waiting for it to be explained.
Well,
or for me to even see both people.
He kind of describes it. He says it's like gravity's not holding you down to the world anymore. It's her, and like it's just like how it's like.
Sounds a little
you know, the one
codependent.
that
Definitely codependent.
Yeah, and it's like fucked up. It's like the universe choosing for you, like kind of like fucking like assigned marriage.
Or
Like,
like
do they-
Mormonism.
Soulmate.
yeah,
What the
Now,
Not a
Mormons do.
soulmate.
yeah.
do they ever fuck his dogs?
I don't know. It's
She
never
doesn't really.
discussed.
Oh, do the women turn into dogs?
No.
That
Well,
one bitch
there
does.
is
Leah
one who
Clearwater.
does.
Now,
So, yes,
now
they
does she,
do.
as a dog, maybe fuck another dog?
You know, I really don't know.
I prefer not to think about it.
Steph didn't really get into it.
It's
Steph
crazy
got
because
into it in her head though.
I'm
She
sure she
definitely
did.
did.
it's
but-
just crazy to me because they talk about how like they reserve so much time because when they stay in their wolf body they don't age. So wouldn't the shortcut if you're also a wolf to like live a really long time would you just both be wolves and fuck as wolves?
What
Yes.
does the fucking have to do with it?
Because you have, I mean, eventually you want to have sex, right? And if you're spending all your time as a wolf, if you turn back into a person, it ages you, and you're like, we're both dogs. Who cares?
I think it kind of actually does a good job of when they're wolves, making it very not sexual.
Yeah, I feel like
Bullshit!
I disagree.
Fucking horseshit. The way she like looks, all like, oh, that's Jacob
Hard
defending
disagree.
me.
and then the eyes. The
It's
eyes.
very sexy for her.
eye contact,
it's
baby.
insanely sexy for her. It's
No,
like, too
when
much.
he's physically a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
she's
eye
just like,
contact.
I'm gonna
Wait,
come.
remember her?
And the
She
fence-
pissed off the friend, and she like hit him in the face or something, and the friend turned into a wolf. And then Jacob's like, "Fuck that!" And he turned into a wolf, and he looked at her. He's like, "Look at this big dong," and he fucked up his friend. He clapped his friend. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
Definitely
sexual as shit.
Yeah.
Sexual as shit. Too much.
Something about
I feel
uncomfortable.
like a lot of furries were bred from watching
A lot of
Twilight.
jean shorts were murdered by these men.
Right.
Correct.
They must like the local Target must have been like, "Fuck, why are they buying all of our jean shorts? This is nuts."
and it's just like toxic
White
masculinity
dads
is all
were
they
coming home
fucking-
like, God damn it, Sharon. They
I wanted to grill out this weekend for the 4th of July.
I work at a men's clothing store and we sell like the standard jort. And it's
To be fair,
an
where you
iconic
work, I don't
bag.
think any of those boys would be shopping there.
No,
You're right. Definitely not.
But like I remember from the book, like a random like throwaway is that they just leave extra clothes in like different spots in the woods.
Yeah.
They just in case they accidentally.
I mean, at this point, like, why not just fully embrace the fact that you're gonna run around naked, or just stay a wolf?
stay a wolf until it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, and then like go behind a tree, you know, like
Yeah.
change it, you know, all that stuff. Like, but why put it in random spots? Like, that's so dumb.
like I guess places they frequent, I suppose. But like I don't know, it just feels really weird.
And also, this is an iconic movie because it's the Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca movie.
oh my god,
That doesn't make it iconic.
It is iconic, though. It is.
it really is.
Okay.
There's a lot about New Moon that's iconic.
Yeah,
I cannot emphasize enough the fact how much time I spent in the woods behind my house in high school being emo because of this movie.
Oh my God.
Channeling my inner Bella.
This movie's pristinely better in Minecraft. By the
I
way.
have a picture.
I'll give it
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
I have a picture of myself like looking at my window and like a picture of myself and like the reflection in my window and like there's a bunch of trees and I was like, this is art because of Twilight.
Yeah.
And I posted it on Facebook all edgy, like deep in thought, like I'm like looking into the woods.
You're like, wow, I'm in Forks right now.
Yeah.
like I have to wonder, do like teenage girls flock to Bella and like Bella's like sexualization from Edward and I guess Jacob too, as like, you know, maybe I can get some if like this frumpy bitch can get some, like this everyday
This frumpy bitch.
this everyday
Wow.
common. Sorry, Bella, but
I think it might have effectively made some girls dress more conservative because if they want to wear that dress, that infamous
Right.
stitched together tablecloth looking ass dress, they might be into
The
that.
thing, oh my
you
God,
know
there's
the
like,
dress I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I saw something about
Yeah.
like how like her outfits described like from the book are like way more like horrible, like long
Yes.
skirts and
Right.
like,
Like a
looking like
corduroy
that.
shirt.
Yeah.
Looking like Kelly Clarkson from Justin to
Oh,
Kelly and
God.
shit.
like I was already
So much beige. And then Edward's like they describe his car as the sexiest car imaginable and
it's a fucking
Volvo.
Volvo.
Ridiculous. And he's ridiculous.
Like
Oh, so the part I just got to in like Midnight Sun was the part that like the scene where he like saves her from getting like fucking molested by those dudes or whatever.
Oh yeah, that scene is just
So I can't address that scene.
okay.
Yikes.
Weird from his perspective too, because he's watching her through the eyes of the people about to molest her, and it's fucked up.
That stresses me out so much.
Also, like, you know, her friend, like, not letting her, but not like snitching on her for approaching those bikers.
Right.
Charlie
Right.
should have done known about that. Okay?
Yeah.
Charlie
Correct.
Charlie definitely
should.
should have done known about that, and it's fucked up he didn't.
Yeah.
And like her like working on the bikes
And
with
then the
Jacob.
fact that she fucking
The
does
only
it
the only
again.
reason that scene is in there, in my opinion, whether it was in the books or not, I'm sure it was.
Oh,
But
that was
just-
like my I'm straight scene.
Oh God.
But
What
I
was
was
the
like-
scene? I'm sorry.
when Jacob takes off his shirt
I
and
wasn't
wraps her,
there
I was
yet,
like,
but
I
yeah,
want to
that-
just rewatch this scene again and again.
yeah, that was just there so that scene could exist. The
Right.
whole motorcycle thing in general was like it'll get them to be friends again, and he'll have to take his shirt off.
Right.
This supposed 15-year-old boy.
He
Ridiculous.
doesn't look like any fucking 15-year-old boy
Hell no.
I've ever seen.
Hell
Like
no.
something chaotic in you after this movie wants to go like get yourself injured so like one of these strong men can come sweep
And
you
they,
off
they
your
really
foot.
do
And
have
that's a
like
little fucked up.
they have built-in moments of like this is when they'll look hot. Eclipse, I won't get into it too much, but there's one scene where like they're at the school or whatever. That scene was designed just to be like, look at how hot Jacob is. He's like turned, like his back is toward them and stuff. That's all over these movies.
Yeah,
and it's really kind of annoying. Like I get the appeal for like the woo girls in the audience and all, but at the time where he's taking his shirt off and like helping her, she had just had a mental break where she saw a vision of her ex-boyfriend and then crashed and smashed her ribs on a rock. And then he's like, look at my pecs. That's so
Right.
fucking strange
Right.
to me.
She's like, Jacob,
And
you're
she's
kind of
even
beautiful.
She's like, Jacob, you're kind of. I just want to like just kiss you.
How
Like,
hard did you
it's
hit your head?
Yeah, like how hard did you hit your head? Because
Yeah.
I needed to find out if this is moral. Like this is so strange.
Correct.
Why, dude? Why? Why is it there?
Yeah.
There's better stuff like romantic, like any sort of time where he's like talking to her. Like there's some like oh my god, dude. When he omelette du fromaged her, when he spoke to her in his Native American language, she came.
Yeah, that's in this
when he was
movie.
Oh my
when he was like
God.
"Ooby dooby da da blah" or whatever, and he omelette du fromaged her like from Dexter's Lab.
Correct.
And she was like wet, and it sounded
Absolutely.
so
I mean,
me
ridiculous.
too.
But for that in the movie, I get that's a good woo girl moment because it
Yeah.
doesn't take away from the movie.
Right.
But when she's checking out his body after she's just had a fucking accident after a fucking mental break, I
Yeah.
find it a little distracting.
I love that
Right.
I feel like in this movie it like tries to make you think, it like acts like it's trying to make you think like she could be with Jacob, but
Oh,
like
yeah,
it never
also-
does that. It
Also,
never
for
does
me,
that.
when you guys were reading the books, because I don't know, because I wasn't in this, and by the time I was seeing the movies, I knew who she ended up with. Because it was public knowledge that he decided to fuck her kid instead. So that was public knowledge. So I didn't ever think that there was a possibility he'd have a romantic turn with her. While you were reading the books, I know it's obvious in the movies, and that's actually one of my critiques of the movies I talked about with you.
Yeah.
Where it never feels like it could happen in the movies. In the books, where you guys are
Yes.
following along,
Yes.
did it feel like it was
Yes.
possible?
In my
Absolutely.
opinion,
Why,
no.
why didn't the movies make it more believable?
he was like the boy next door. Like I feel like at least in my life there, when I was like younger, there was like a boy next door type of dude like that, like you kind of fetishize the idea of like being with your like childhood best friend. I feel like in that
Yeah.
way, and like I feel like Vampire Diaries does it a little better in that way. Like,
Oh my God,
like
we're not
with the
ta-
Mac
I
character,
will
like
fucking
it's like her
end
like
this
childhood
podcast.
best friend that like they went out to see if it would work, and like she
Hmm.
kind of like they like felt just kind of a love for each other that they didn't quite understand. I feel like that's kind of how the books make it seem.
Yeah.
But dude,
for
she's
me-
so fucking infatuated with
Yeah,
Edward.
that's what I was gonna say. For me, it never really felt like Bella and Jacob would happen.
It felt like
my
she'd end
mind
up with
reading the
Edward
books.
or kill herself.
Well, because
Yeah.
and like
in
I always
the movies, definitely.
in
the
the
books,
books,
though,
it
it's
was
different.
it always felt like, you know, when I was reading the books and didn't know where it was going, it always felt to me like she was like, you know, I really wish that I could love Jacob, I really wish that this could happen.
Yeah,
because
romanticizing it.
this makes sense, and this is, you know, this would on paper be a good choice for me because he is good for me, but I can't because I love Edward too fucking much. You know what I mean? Like she's infatuated with him, and so to me, she never even entertained the idea, really, truly.
And that was my grievance with the movie, is that, especially New Moon, it's like you're giving this romance so much time, but I can tell you off the bat, like I can tell you out the gate, it's not going to end that way. So why are you wasting my time?
Right.
I really feel that way.
I mean, in the books, I feel like you see more like her coming to terms with like, if
And
I
that's
can't
just
be, if like I can't have him, I want to like love Jacob.
Like that would be the like.
And
I
like
don't even
she
think
starts
it's
to kind
that.
of fall for him a lot more in the books. I feel like.
I don't
she
think it's
really
even
does.
that. I
Read
don't
New
think it's
Moon
like
in a while,
if I can't have him type thing. I think that it's either, like you said, either she can't have him or she will kill herself.
Yeah.
And like I think that she would maybe, like, in the hypothetical situation where she and Edward never got back together, like that she would maybe try to make it work with Jacob, but ultimately she would just end up like jumping off a cliff or something.
She
trying to
never
steal some shit.
Under her perception, Edward was never coming back. Jacob put himself entirely out there, and she was like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was before the idea of Edward re-entering the picture was
But she
ever
has
even
that
in the realm.
moment where she's like, just like, give me time to Jacob at the end of it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But at the same time, it's like,
But like she
it
like
was
feels
so
like
it was
she's,
so
like, damaged
obvious
goods.
that she was like, because in every conversation they'd have, she'd bring up how much she was in love with Edward and how much. I mean, she literally cucked the werewolf.
like-
She's like, "You're not strong enough to fight a vampire."
No,
it's
but
like
it's
you don't
like
know,
a
bitch.
fucked up love that she
fed it-
doesn't understand.
She was so infatuated with Edward. She was even infatuated with the fact that she preferred vampires over werewolves. Openly to werewolves.
But
She would
she
tell
feels
them they're
like
not
she
strong
needs
enough.
Jacob too. Like they make it.
That's not
very,
relevant to what I just said, but yeah, sure.
I think she feels
I don't
like
know.
I said.
It
I think
feels
she
better in the books.
I think she, both in the books and the movies, wishes that she was the type of person that
Yeah.
could end up with Jacob.
Yeah,
She wants to be that. There are times when she tries to be it, but she ultimately cannot because she is too fucked up on Edward.
Like it honestly feels like Jacob is there as an obstacle for her to be
Yeah,
happy.
absolutely.
It feels
Right.
like he is physically there to make her unhappy. And then I'm just like, what's the fucking point? Like, I don't get it. I just, and also there's things that go on with Jacob later, and I won't get into detail, where I don't even like him. So not
Yeah.
only is he
No.
not the option for you, he's also a fucking dick. So I just want him out of there.
Yeah.
Regardless of how hot he looks in front of the school on his motorcycle, I don't care.
And that's how I felt in the books too. I never really entertained the idea that it would be Bella and Jacob in the end. It doesn't.
And how fucking
Didn't
pissed
seem
would the fans
possible.
be if that happened?
Right.
They would have been really mad
when you conceptualize Edward versus Jacob and you think about the opposite happening. What the fuck? How are these fans going to
That she
respond?
wouldn't have been as happy in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I.
Would be a sad ending.
But
I
that's
feel
just
like
it. Like
she shouldn't be with either
I
of
don't.
them.
I don't think.
No,
I don't think that
definitely
for
not.
fanfare,
She's a child.
Stephanie Meyer could get away with that. I feel like
Right.
they'd be like, try again,
yeah.
because people were so obsessed with the Edward relationship at the time. It's really
It's
just
like Madison said. It's that toxic relationship that like
It's a forced-
is fun to watch.
It's a forced love triangle that is not at all reinforced with anything in the plot.
Right.
It doesn't
I mean,
feel
yeah.
even related at times.
And like I remember when I was first reading Twilight, I never really had the Edward Jacob conversation. Like I never asked people if they were Team Edward or Team Jacob until
Yeah.
really the movies started
that wasn't
to be a thing.
That wasn't
Because-
a thing with the books. I
because
read the
like
books
you
way
said-
first too,
Yeah.
and like that wasn't a thing with them.
Like you said, it was not really a question who she would end up with. It was either Edward or nobody. And honestly, it still always felt like it was going to be Edward.
The twist was what was going to happen with Jacob, and the result was literally fucking insane
yeah,
and stupid.
ridiculous.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Okay, are we done reviewing it? Is there anything else we want to add?
I think that's it. We got into a lot.
Possibility.
That we will be reviewing
Um,
Eclipse.
What was it? Robert Pattinson shirtless seemed like he was sick.
Yes.
I don't know what was
he
going
was
on with him
very
at the time,
ill.
but it's really uncool for them to do that in this movie because the whole time they're showing you Jacob's torso, and then Robert
Right.
Pattinson's got to come out with
His
like,
skinny looking ass.
you know, I look like a guy who works at the gas station.
Like looking like extra fucked up too, because he's supposed to look like he's really been through it.
and pale and gross, and it was
ridiculous.
Yeah. Other than that, I would just say that Victoria is the worst character in anything.
This movie's had that one spoof of Twilight.
Vampires suck.
That's what happened right after this.
I had that movie for whatever reason.
I saw it at the drive-in.
That's hilarious.
Maybe we should review that. Maybe I'd like that more.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
We could do Vampires Suck and Eclipse.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let us know if you guys
I
want
used to have that movie.
So
in
much
my possession.
vampire content, but we could do it.
I rate this movie a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Like,
right? Do you agree with that rating?
Yeah. For her, yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I was like, you also are giving it a 10 out of 10?
I think she's giving it exactly what she feels it truly deserves.
I think she thinks it deserves an 11 out of 10.
Anybody that has listened to me talk about Twilight knows I'm well studied on this topic.
No, I will say this, Franny.
Yeah.
Like, speaking to your well-studiedness, what you said about like Bella's characterization really like made me think about this movie and also the books differently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think that's really interesting. That's fascinating to me. So
I'm really into this.
Franny's like a Twilight scholar.
Yeah. But it's so
annoying.
funny to me because like
not.
everybody's
I
like
love it.
I love it, but it's annoying.
everybody's
If you
like
don't like it, you can leave. You need to leave.
oh, he loves it and he endorses it, but it's so funny to me because everybody's like into Twilight, but like Logan can attest to this. I never stopped being into
Right.
Twilight. Like I made that very like at the forefront of my personality ever since I like read the books, because I actually had to fight to read the books against my parent didn't want me reading them due to their unchristian like nature,
Which is crazy because like.
right?
But I don't know. Is Mormon Christian? I guess kind of
Not really. Not in the
ask a
Christian that
Christian.
I was.
Ask a Christian that question. See the response.
I was Baptist as a kid. Like this was like
you were
not.
Baptist.
Yeah, this was like
God.
Baptist in Kentucky. Like this was not
No.
a book that like was parent friendly.
Well, what would a Mormon say?
A Mormon about whether it was
Depending on
Christian
it.
or not?
Yeah.
No.
But
No.
Right.
And
like-
like believe in God, right?
Bro, do you want to
We
get
don't
into
need to get
like
into all
theology
that.
right now? Because
But
I can break it down if you want.
I'm just expressing my
Sorry.
love for Twilight. Like
They believe in Jesus made in America, baby. That's what they think. Jesus made in America.
But anyways, I'm not
Yeah.
done being on my pedestal about Twilight real fast.
Go ahead.
And like Twilight's always meant a lot to me too. I feel like it was like the first thing I read and the first movies I saw that I was like, wow, I'm really into reading. Wow, I'm really into movies. And it was like the first bit of entertainment that felt like it was made for me and was mine. And it has always meant a lot to me. I had the books as a kid and those books actually like got tossed out. And Logan since bought me all the books and all the movies, and it'll just always be very special to me. And I really like that we're reviewing them. So
and we'll continue to do more. We're only spacing them out simply because there's only so much Twilight content. So
Yeah.
we're trying
Right.
to space out how much we do
can
them.
only let me talk for so long.
Well, no, because if we do them all right away, you're gonna be burnt out, and we'll never revisit it. And it's so much
Right.
better if you space it
Right.
out. You can get all of your Twilight insanity out in one episode, and then a couple of months later, maybe a year later, you
Yeah.
dive into the next one.
Right. And I feel like the different movies relate to my life in different ways as I've grown as well.
They're also really different. Like
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
different, varying degrees, in my opinion, of bad. But they are very different. What's everybody else's rating? Because we're running low on time.
I'm gonna say for the nostalgia factor, if I was basing it on that alone, I would give it a 10 out of 10. However, as a podcaster and as a person, I guess
As a critic,
as a critic, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
that's really high.
Fair enough.
It's really high. I mean, I still can't like unfactor that nostalgia.
Listen, it's your opinion, and there's nothing I can say about it, and your opinion's golden, so don't listen to me.
cool.
For me, like, this is my least favorite Twilight movie. I know it's like everybody's favorite, but
That's
I just don't
crazy.
really like it. I don't know.
Eclipse is more fun. I think.
I like when Edward's there. I like that he stirs the pot up, you know. I just think it's kind of pathetic to watch Bella do what she does in this movie. It's like it's not fun for me to watch. And like I like my Twilight movies fun because if they're not going to be good, they should at least be fun. So for me, I give this one, I don't know, I guess I'll say like a 4.5 out of 10. There are things I like about it. I mean, there are things that are okay about it. I like the soundtrack. I like the way it looks sometimes. I mean, I think it looks better than the first one, which, like you said, has Disney movie sequences. So, yeah, I don't really.
It's a 3 out of 10 for me, kids. It's well shot. It does have a storyline that somewhat makes sense till beginning to end, although there's things that are said that are completely thrown away.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, if you're into Twilight and stuff, I get why this is everybody's favorite Twilight movie if you're like a Team Jacob person, because this is really his film.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you're a fan of him, this is where you get the most out of that character.
And like I said before, I never really saw Jacob as much of a
If you don't like Jacob
contender.
and you prefer Edward, this is literally the worst movie for you.
Yeah, I never saw
Right.
Jacob as being a contender. I never saw him as like even having a fighting chance.
But if you want to see him walking through the rain with his like rippled chest, yelling at a girl that's trying to
Correct.
just have a conversation with him, that's the
I
move.
mean, everybody likes a good hot rain scene.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright,
kids.
Fair enough.
You can listen to this podcast at youtube.com/crosscutcinema. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and most other platforms.
Pretty much anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us. Also, you can listen to me and Franny's second podcast, youtube.com/apilotpodcast. It's called A Pilot Podcast. You can get it anywhere you get podcasts as well. But we review TV show pilots. Basically, we let you know what we think of a show based on the pilot, and then you don't get any more spoilers than that if you don't want them. They're time-stamped. And you can also check out bonus content on my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler.
Rate, review, like, subscribe.
Yes,
And
please
also
do.
Thank
follow
you.
us on Twitter at Crosscut Cinema.
Crosscut Cinema. It was Crosscut Cinema Pod or Crosscut Cinema?
Crosscut Cinema.
Crosscut Cinema Pod is our Gmail.
Email us.
Please do.